Holy shit. He said what?
Meghan Markle's sister Samantha Markle is not backing down, but today felt like the perfect day to address a theory that many people out there have been speculating on, that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
Wow, because no one tuned into your first crappy podcast where all you did was lecture us on feminism and everyone hated it. Remember, she was so...
Is Megsy really lying about her age? Now, when you Google her, it says that she was born on the 4th of August 1981. And with today being her birthday, as of me recording this video, it's saying that she's 44 years old.
Before she met Harry, you had no doubt she was your sister.
My little sister, though, I said.
Sister Samantha Markle, who joins me live from the US. Samantha, I have to say, this was one of the most nauseating, horrible
A clear motive for writing family off because it would seemingly justify and perhaps delay the revelation of all of the lies that she had told the royal family.
There is a theory that's been out there for a while. It's been floating around. Royal fans are convinced Meghan Markle is lying about her age. In fact, they think she's older.
It's living a life that she's winning and she's doing all these great things, but the reality is not that. The reality is she's a...
And not a surprise here because, yeah, she lies a lot about her stuff. We've caught her in so many lies. Her own sister has come forward, her family, everybody is exposing the lies that she's been telling.
Megyn Kelly has weighed in on Meghan Markle's failed plan.
We've got to talk about Meghan Markle.
I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
Spring chickens. So the whole time I was fully expecting them to bust out in like a Saturday Night Live Dusty Muffin skit. It was
paying half attention to Daily Mail headlines that runs through her life as she's blowing up families. I mean, she seems like she's really caused a lot of problems in her husband's family. Clearly, she's gone after your family.
I just can't stand her. I just think she's such a phony. I love to make fun of her because she continues to give me so much material. Raw details of was that Meghan's team had a conversation with a publishing house to gauge interest in the idea for a potential book.
I think when I was 30, if I thought about 50, I thought that is an awful long way away. And I don't really need to think about it. And then I blinked and I'm 50. That's crazy.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Let's be real when it comes to Meghan Markle. There's always chaos hiding around the corner. Divorce whispers, Netflix flops, mystery jam jars, take your pick.
When you sell out that quickly, you actually, it's a double-edged sword because it's an incredible thing to happen.
Dude, you're selling like 10 jars of jam. You will not show the figures. They even admitted at Bloomberg's. We don't know what her figures are, but she's sold out. Yeah, because you're doing this fake sellout where you sell 10, 20 products and then, oh, we're sold out.
The second seasonal drop and 10x our inventory. And thought,
so she went from a 10 to 100, allegedly.
For sure, that would at least...
They're not gonna buy 100 of these dumb jams. Dude, I bet you bought them yourself.
These last for a couple weeks. That sold out in a couple hours. And suddenly the conversation goes from at the start of this year talking about a few thousand jars and lids to we need to do a purchase order of 1 million.
Our snozzberries and cut our mint and then cut our flowers that are edible. But don't worry.
But this time, it's hotter than any scandal before. Meghan's half-sister Samantha just reignited her defamation lawsuit. And what she's hinting at isn't just gossip. It could blow apart everything we thought we knew about the Duchess.
Productive commercial of sorts, then.
Yeah. Were you surprised, Samantha, that your sister tried to make out that she's some sort of repressed...
Forget tiaras, forget tantrums. This scandal strikes at the one secret Meghan protects more than any crown, her real age. That's right, Samantha says Meghan isn't 44 at all. She could be older, much older. And the so-called proof? It all begins with one dusty old photo that Meghan never wanted you to see.
And it would only make sense that she might lie about this. Would it be such a big deal? Is it true? Well, thankfully, Steph the Alternate has compiled a slideshow. Let's actually get to the truth of this issue, and it's a surprise. Here we go.
Our fathers, so we have to include the men when we are self-glorifying. You know, there's got to be some acknowledgement there.
Meghan Markle's exhaustingly sycophantic and woke new podcast where she ramps up the victimhood with her apparent BFF, Serena Williams, despite them both being
Samantha Markle has never been the quiet sister. If Meghan plays the Hollywood Duchess, Samantha plays the family's loudspeaker.
We were kind of puzzled when both sides of the family were kept away from the royal wedding, and we started wondering, what's up with this? Like, why? And we started to realize, aha, when you have a wedding and people start drinking champagne at the reception, they start talking.
She's written books, fired off interviews, and tossed insults that make Twitter look tame. But in 2025, she stormed back into court with a weapon sharper than ever the claim that Meghan's glossy biography is nothing but a lie.
Humble opinion. It's rather lofty to suggest the ability to align with, issues of woman.
The palace swears Meghan was born on August 4th, 1981. Nice and tidy, tied up with a royal bow. But Samantha fires back. Wait, the math doesn't match. And once you start digging, you can't help but wonder, was the palace selling us a fairy tale?
But is this true? There is a rumor she's actually older, so let's examine what's out there. This is a copy of 17 magazine, and it was published in March of 1997. In it, it mentions our Megsy is from Los Angeles and that she was 21 years old at the time of publication.
Picture this. Early 2000s, Northwestern University, a salsa club meeting because even duchesses love to dance. Students pack in for a simple yearbook-style photo. Harmless, right? But here's the twist: check the alumni list, and suddenly the whole story starts to burn with scandal. Most of Meghan's classmates in that photo aren't 20-something sophomores. They're in their early 50s today.
When she was younger,
Hi, Nanny. I got an English award.
100% a bully brat.
And here's the bombshell: these people finished high school in the late 1980s, nearly a decade before Meghan's official 1999 graduation. So who's lying, the yearbook or the Duchess?
Was our fathers. So we have to include the men when we are self-glorifying. There's got to be some acknowledgement there.
So unless Meghan was aging backwards like Benjamin Button, something stinks. Either she was strangely hanging out with an older crowd, or that polished 1981 birth date is nothing more than a royal cover story.
That would make her birth year at around 1976. However, why is it saying here she was born 5 years later in 1981? Is she 42 years old, or is she closer to 47 years old?
Here's where it really blows up. Samantha and others have thrown out different birth years, like confetti at a royal wedding 1977, 1976, even 1975. If that's true, Meghan isn't 44, she's pushing 50.
The motive be for keeping both sides of the family away.
That's right.
The stories would come out. So apparently, according to other journalists, we found out that there were a lot of porky pies probably told to the royals and even to Harry when they met her, and in order to cover up.
That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry.
And that changes everything. And this isn't just random Twitter gossip. These whispers come from dusty alumni lists, old event programs, and classmates who swear they remember Meghan in a very different timeline.
It was planned from the beginning.
Some key clips from the podcast, and I'll get you to review as we go. So during the chat with Serena, she appeared to suggest that ambition.
If Meghan was really born in 1975, that salsa club photo suddenly clicks. She'd fit right in with classmates now pushing 54. But stick with the palace's official date, and Meghan looks like the odd baby of the group.
There's nothing original here.
I hope you're having the best birthday you've ever had. Thank you for everything.
Which is really such a fake.
For the longest time, she wanted to be a dancer.
Meghan Markle's not an idiot.
I just made a little mark on my board and said, oh, there's another lie, click.
I do that from Florida when he's in Rosarito, Mexico. I don't have telekinesis.
Yeah, because they're trying to say, just to clarify, Samantha, for people who haven't watched the horrible Boar Fest, Meghan tried to claim that someone had intercepted her father's phone, presumably you, and that you were
tagging along with a pack of much older students. Be honest, how many 19-year-olds do you know who ditch kids their own age to party? Only with 30-year-olds in salsa clubs? Yeah, exactly. Something doesn't add up.
In a Newsweek article that looked at this very same question, it looked at what her sister, Samantha Markle, has said. Samantha has called out many of her lies. And about her age, in her book, Samantha Markle says in the diary of Princess Pushy's sister, she confirms the year of Meghan's birth is 1981, not 1976. So Meghan's own sister corroborates the official date as per Google.
Meghan's defenders love to wave one thing around the paperwork. August 4th, 1981, stamped in the Royal Archives. Fine, but here's the twist. Meghan's official documents aren't carved in stone.
Saying that we were close. We had a normal relationship for older brothers and sisters with a younger sibling. And so that's pretty clear. It was, we thought, my brother and I thought, a pretty normal life.
Remember Archie's birth certificate in 2019? At first it listed her full name, Rachel Meghan. Then poof, within weeks it was wiped clean, leaving only Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. The palace called it consistency. But let's be real, when has any other royal mother had her own name erased from her child's birth certificate?
A little sis. I would have loved to have had siblings. That's why I'm so excited to be pregnant, so that Archie has someone.
A lot of people, though, say that Samantha Markle had since revealed Megsy's true age in her court documents as part of the defamation suit against her that's happening. This is false. Here you can see that Samantha is 58 years old, born in 1964. The court documents from Samantha, she confirms there is a 17-year difference in age, which would make Meghan's year of birth being 1981. So
this little stunt didn't prove her age, but it proved something bigger when the palace wants to rewrite records. They can do it quietly, no fingerprints left behind. If a royal birth certificate can lose details overnight, what about old school files? Casting papers, early headshots, you see the danger. If Meghan was truly born in 1981, the timeline looks neat high school in 1999, Northwestern in the 2000s, Hollywood auditions, then Harry. But if she was born mid-70s, a 4 to 6 year black hole appears.
August 4th, 40 years ago, Meghan was born, and she was born as a C-section, so she was put in my arm.
Years missing from every glossy biography, years she doesn't exist on paper. And when you're building a brand like Meghan, you don't just lose years, you erase them.
Watched the series. Has Thomas watched so far? Because this must be incredibly hurtful to him.
No, we briefed him, but I didn't want him to watch because, like everything, it's lie upon lie upon lie. And he's been through so much, 2 heart attacks and a stroke. And she...
Picture it, you're 30, but Hollywood only wants shiny 24-year-olds. What do? Cut the timeline. Shave off the years. Suddenly your IMDb age looks perfect for casting. And when a prince shows up, nobody's in a rush to ruin the fairy tale with a birth certificate audit.
Stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
Rumors that she was trying to reach out to my dad's camp, but my brother and I are my dad's camp, and his phone number has never changed, his address has never changed, and even though he can't speak, his language comprehension is perfect.
Ever notice how Meghan's childhood and school photos always appear at the most convenient times? A senior portrait when her royal bio drops. A group shot when Netflix is tanking. It's like a secret folder gets cracked open. See? She really was 18 in 1999. Some pics trace back to alumni archives.
Half-sister's daughter is. And so, with Ashley, the guidance at the time was to not have her come to our wedding.
Wow.
Firstly, yeah, wow, what a porcupine. When that happened...
Others magically offered up by classmates who stayed silent for decades. Cute coincidence or a carefully staged brand rollout. To some, it feels nostalgic. To others, it reeks of PR cleanup. And that's the real tea. Whether Meghan is 44 or 50, the issue isn't the number, it's the system.
I just recently found out, it's really sad because Ashley and I were on talking terms. We were, I thought, bonding after not speaking for a while, even though we did speak. I wanted my kids to be raised with their grandparents because I didn't trust babysitters.
Classmates who don't line up. Records that get edited photos that only appear when the pressure rises. Lawsuits that drag the whispers back. Alone, you might shrug. Together, it's not coincidence, it's strategy. Meghan Markle isn't just a duchess, she's a brand. And brands live or die on control. Control of the story, the image, even the year on a birth certificate, that's real power.
Her father is recovering from a stroke, literally about a 3-hour drive. Could you believe that? She doesn't have a father.
No, and that was all lies too. And to suggest that at one point that they
So here's the $1 million question. Is Meghan Markle older than she claims, or is Samantha just stirring chaos again? The palace may never unlock the truth, but one thing's certain with Meghan, her story is always polished, always staged.
It's lie upon lie upon lie.
Let's break it down. Meghan's latest interview wasn't just polished PR, it was packed with lies. And once you hear them, you'll never look at her the same way again.
I think our character, who we are at your core, I don't think that shift.
That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
I think a lot of behaviors and habits and roles that you end up playing in your life can bring out the best or worst in a lot of people, but you're still who you are.
Like, guys, you don't gotta do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
I'm a little bit vintage in many ways because I'm from a time capsule of handwritten notes. I have to imagine Siri's not on my phone. I don't have location service, things like that I'm not caught up in the day-to-day tech things that most people are. Imagine Siri's not on my phone. I don't have location services. Back on Instagram was a really big decision, but also it's just been joyful. I'm really intentional in using it as a platform to share joy and to have fun as well.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
Actually get a drink in peace?
Yes.
Yeah.
We go out a lot. I love it a lot in our community, in Montecito and in Santa Barbara.
I didn't think this interview could get any worse, but it sure did.
I didn't think this interview could get any worse, but it did, and not in a small way. It got worse in the exact way that makes people roll their eyes, close the tab, and say, come on, do you think we're dumb? So today I'm going to say out loud what a lot of people felt, but didn't have time to unpack.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time? There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s.
I'll keep it simple. I'll keep it honest. And yes, it's going to be a little spicy because the gap between the words and the reality is too big to ignore. Here's the core problem with this interview. It tries to sell real life while protecting the brand at every step. It asks for trust without offering proof. It keeps using warm words like joy, home, and authentic. But when you listen closely, what you hear is control, distance, and spin.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
That's why people got annoyed, not because of success, not because of jealousy, because the story doesn't sit right. Let's start with the I don't have time to cook dinner line.
But I'm really unapologetic about the fact that though would it be lovely to go and churn your own butter? Sure, maybe. I don't have time for that.
You literally waste time in your garden all the time to get flower sprinkles, so you say. How do you have time for any of this?
I don't have time for that. I'm great at ordering takeout and plating it beautifully. And look, and yes, do I have small things where even on my kids' plates, I wipe the side of the plate? Someone might go, oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. For me, that's 2 seconds where I get to present something that looks a little bit more beautiful.
I cannot imagine having a meal with Meghan Markle or trying to cook and she's literally cleaning, changing the order on the plates to make. No one cares. I just want to eat.
On its own, fine. Lots of people don't cook. Lots of people buy takeout. But in context, it sounds like a performance of being relatable. You're telling us you wipe the edge of the plate. You plate takeout beautifully. You make sure it looks perfect, okay? But if the point is to share your life, be straight about your life. Don't pretend the life looks like everyone else's life. If your day is meetings, calls, brand planning, and photo shoots, say that. If your team helps run the house, say that. The pressure to act normal while living a very not normal life is what makes people wince. Just be real. I don't cook most nights. We order in. I like to make it look nice. That's a normal sentence. That's human. The I don't have time line coming from that level of support hits weird. It's not evil, it's just tone deaf and always just a little too perfect. So what do you think? Is this the ultimate royal cover-up or just messy family feud drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe, and stay close because with Meghan Markle, the tea never stops spilling.